University of Nebraska-Lincoln researchers say higher adoption of precision ag is associated with higher profitability on the farm. However, they can't say definitively using those tools causes the rise in net farm income. The topic was the focus of a recent Cornhusker economics article from UNL professors Brad Lubben, Joe Luck, and Taro Mino, and former UNL Ag Economics grad student Mike Castle. The researchers sampled data from producers working with Nebraska Farm Business Inc. to learn more about use and returns. Brad joined us recently to discuss the subject and how this analysis is different from previous work on precision ag.
There are very few analyses out there where we actually look at real economic results. There's a lot of analysis of precision ag technology and the potential returns. Budget out the potential returns of adopting variable rate applications or section controls or other new technologies. And you can assess what's potential, but you don't know exactly what is realized in terms of how a producer uses it on their operation.
Give me an idea of what your data showed for your producers.
Right. The first case is maybe the most obvious. It's precision agriculture technology adoption seems to be strongly correlated with increased profitability. But then the fundamental statistical question, but which caused which? We know there was rapid adoption over the last decade or two. We know there was also substantial increasing profits in the early 2000s. And so did precision ag technology adoption drive increased profitability? Or did increased profitability create those capital reserves to adopt new technology? Or in fact, did they drive each other, which certainly is a very possible case as well.
Did you break it down by different technologies, so different precision ag tools?
Right. At least initially here, we see a range of different technologies adopted, everything from yield monitor and information to section controls and automatic guidance and variable rate applications. But in the initial analysis here, we're just looking at sort of a family of precision ag technologies. So yet to study perhaps individual technologies and the impact of one or the other, but simply more of a management perception or perspective of adopting a family of technology and looking at the profitability, not just of adopting or not adopting, but the profitability changes of before adoption versus after adoption.
Right, explain more on that, the difference you saw from maybe year 1 to 10 years out.
What might be expected is that looking at the profitability of individual operations before and after adoption, well, what really happens after adoption? And the best model that we could initially at least address here looks more like an S-shaped curve, a sigmoid curve as we would call it, that really looks like a learning curve. The initial years of adoption, there's not particularly much impact. It might even be negative on profitability, which is to say you make investment decisions, maybe you expense those decisions from a tax basis, so you have expenses, but you don't have a lot of benefits. Well, some of that is because you're learning how to use the technology. Some of that is because, consider a yield monitor, until you have enough years of data, you really don't have something to act upon, no information to really make a management decision. Enough time passes, and when you look at technology times years used, the further you go, the bigger the impact. And eventually we would model, you would imagine that you've gotten the full benefit of it and profits start to level off.
So the take-home question, does precision ag increase profits?
The initial analysis would still leave that question out there hanging. It certainly supports the idea that there's a learning curve, that you get better at the technology as time goes on, and so one expects profitability to increase as time goes on. But the fundamental question of how profitable, we could still use better data and further analysis to hone in on exactly which technologies are profitable where, and which technologies may be more challenging yet.